Well, hello once again and welcome to the Disability Law Show. John Scholes and Sivan Tumarkin right there. You want to ask some questions anytime. We'll give you some information and some contact right off the top. 1-855-821-5900. Help at disabilityrights.ca. Busy show today. Lots coming up, Sivan, including 3 reasons for hiring Samfiru Tumarkin to help fight your LTD insurer. That is on the way. Very important stuff. But we always start with the week that was. What's been going on in your camp?
Well, John, it's been a very, very busy week. Again, social distancing, COVID, everybody's suffering here. And, we are now starting to see more and more the impact of this pandemic on our psyche. We have articles and news reports from across Canada talking about the mental health toll that this is taking on everyone. You, me, our families, co-workers, friends, everyone. And that means that more people are applying for long-term disability as a result of the impact, the psychological impact of COVID-19. And John, what I was warning about, a few months ago when this just started, I was warning and I was worried that insurance companies would take ludicrous positions when it comes to COVID-19 cases. And I'm seeing this now. I'm getting more and more people calling me and emailing me saying, what do I do now? My LTD application, my claim has been declined. The insurance company is saying I'm not covered for mental health issues, mental health illnesses. And, people don't know what to do and there's no money coming in and they're very, very concerned. And I am answering everyone the exact same way, which is this. Long-term disability policies, generally speaking, you have some differences depending on the policy, but generally speaking, they should cover you. They should be paying you long-term disability if you have a physical illness or injury that prevents you from working, or if you have a psychological illness or injury that prevents you from working, or a combination of the two. So if you are having now depression, anxiety, PTSD, or any other type of mental health issue that prevents you from performing the essential tasks of your own occupation, or of any occupation beyond that 2-year mark, right? To be on LTD beyond the 2-year mark, you have to satisfy that test that you cannot do any occupation for which you're suited for. But again, we're talking about COVID-19, so we're still within your own occupation segment of the LTD test. And so I'm telling people, look, you have a case. Don't walk away from money that's owed to you. Don't bother with appeals. Don't bother with appealing those decisions. They're going to make you run around in circles. They're going to deny your appeal, the first appeal, the second appeal, the third appeal. And you're going to have no money coming in, and you're going to get frustrated and walk away from money that's owed to you. So, I was trying to select, John, a specific case, an individual that called me this week, but there was just so many people I've been dealing with. And there is this thread that runs through many of these, which is that people are being told by their insurance company, your claim is denied because we don't cover COVID-19 disabilities, or we don't cover psychological disability. That is wrong. At the very least, give me a call and contact me so I can review your policy, and I'll tell you within a few minutes if your policy is like the millions of other policies out there that should cover you.
Do you think these insurance companies, part of the reason why they're playing hardball is because a psychological issue may not show up on an X-ray or a CT scan, so you can't physically see it, like a broken bone?
I think that's part of it. We've always seen this prejudice for mental health issues and disabilities. We still have that. We have that with insurance companies. It's also easier for them to deny because they can just tell you, we can't see it, we can't diagnose it, we don't know what it is, whatever. They can basically tell you they don't believe you because it doesn't show up on an X-ray, as you said. But here's the thing. They've always done that. It's just that now I'm seeing an uptake in those kinds of denials as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic and anything associated with COVID-19. So I think, remember at the beginning, a few months back, I had said that insurance companies are going to see a tsunami of claims coming their way. Yeah. And they're going to have to figure out how to shut the door, how to somehow hold back that wave of LTD claims, legitimate LTD claims, applications from people who are desperate. And this is what now I am seeing them doing. It is concerning to me. This is all anecdotal. I can't give you any statistics. It's very early days. But I'm telling you, to everyone that's watching, and please, if you're not in that situation, you may know someone. You may have a friend, a family member, a coworker, someone who needs this reassurance. You have a legal leg to stand on in challenging the insurance company legally. It will not take long, and it will not be that difficult. In fact, it won't be difficult at all because we're going to be dealing with it. let us push back against the insurance company. So, John, I think that it's a combination of what you said about mental health disabilities and illnesses. I also think that the insurance companies are just scared with the amount of money they're going to have to pay out to all these people who can't work because of mental health issues now because of COVID-19.
You know, we've had a long-running radio show in many markets across the country, Sivan, as you know, for many years, and we take a lot of phone calls on those shows. People just have questions and they want some answers. Quickest way is to reach out. You want to go to disabilityrights.ca to find a radio station near you where you can catch our radio show, and we'll get to our first phone call from the radio shows right here, right now.
I've been struggling with postpartum depression and high levels of anxiety. Despite my doctor and therapist saying that I should be off work, I was denied long-term disability. I've already exhausted my short-term benefits with the same insurance company. I've been trying to appeal, but I'm not very optimistic that I'm going to get anywhere with that. So just wondering what I can do. Are you guys able to help me?
Trying to appeal, probably.
Trying to appeal,
once. The
yeah.
A word, no.
John, I mean, we see this time and time again. You know, these past few days, something happened in my household that really made me think about this whole appeal process. And that is, you know, my 8-year-old son who came to me and said, I want to have candy. And, you know, he got his candy. And then an hour later, he came by and said, I want to have another candy. And I said, no. Well, guess what? He appealed that. What do you think my answer was, John?
No.
No, for the first time, second time, third time, and every other time he asked me, you know, that evening. That's how the insurance company is going to be treating your appeals. That is just the reality. Now, I'm never going to tell you that appeals never work, because I can't say never say never, right? But I can also not tell you that I will never tell my son, yes, you can have another candy. But it's going to be very, very rare and a special occasion. Here's the thing. Insurance companies understand that as long as you are appealing that decision, there's no pressure on them to agree to reverse their position. There's literally no pressure. You don't have any leverage with them, no matter how justified your claim for disability is. The difference between an appeal and the legal process, this is what we do as lawyers. The difference is that we are engaging now a process that takes the power from their hands and puts it in a different stream. It puts it in a system, a legal system, where the insurance company understands that if their denials are going to get tested in court, they may lose big, not only by paying you, but paying your lawyers, paying their lawyers, paying other fees. I mean, they don't want that. That's why they don't want to go to court. That's why insurance companies love it when you appeal, because as long as you're appealing, you're not engaging that other more powerful process, the legal process, which is what we can help you with. Now, if you want to, you know, not believe me and in fact go ahead and appeal, go ahead and do that, but don't lose sight of the fact that when they deny your claim, you get that letter saying we deny your appeal. At the bottom of that letter, they'll invite you to appeal again, and they'll keep doing that repeatedly. So with this caller, John, listen, as long as she has doctors backing up the fact that she's disabled from working, we can help her. It's that simple. And we're going to talk a bit more about what it is that our firm can do and how we help individuals out there, what's very unique about our firm. But it's very important for people to understand that you do not want to appeal long-term disability denials. You are most likely going to run into a dead end over and over again. It's just not worth it.
Just for the record, your 8-year-old son's a lot more determined and stubborn than any insurance company you're ever going to come across. I don't care if they have a green lizard or a Hollywood actor representing them. Forget it. Your kid's tougher, so you're in for the long haul, pal. I'm just letting
I
you
know. Trust me, I know. I'm exhausted.
That's right. And coming up, Sivan didn't mention it, why you want to hire his firm to help you battle your LTD insurer. That is on the way on the Disability Law Show. Stick around.
You lost your job. They only gave you 2 weeks of severance per year worked. But where can you find out what you're really owed?
I'm going to severancepaycalculator.com.
Find out how much you're owed right now. severancepaycalculator.com.
You've been denied long-term disability. You think you're powerless, but you have a lot more power than you think. I'll tell you a secret. It's a numbers game for the insurance company. They're betting on you walking away from money that they owe you. Don't make that mistake. We resolve disability claims all the time. We force insurers to pay what they owe. We're in your corner.
Call Sivan and his team, 1-855-821-5900, or go to disabilityrights.ca. You lost your job. They said they had a good reason, but you think you've been wrongfully dismissed. Now what are you going to do?
I'm going to employmentlawyer.ca.
Always check with the employment lawyer first at employmentlawyer.ca.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Disability Law Show. Reaching out anytime by phone, that is an option. 1-855-821-5900. Help at disabilityrights.ca is the email address. Sivan, I want to get to this, and 3 reasons. We narrowed it down to 3. There's many, but 3 reasons for hiring Samfiru Tumarkin, your law firm, to help fight your long-term disability insurer. Want to get right into these. Once you hire us, or them, because I'm not a lawyer yet, they do the talking. They deal with your insurer and allow you to focus on your health. This is one of the biggest things and biggest pleasures, I would even say, of clients that come on board. They don't realize this is going to happen, and what a weight lifted off their shoulders when they realize that, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, John. You know, one of the reasons why I put together this list, and it's actually a much longer list, but, you know, I chose 3, is because every so often you have someone who calls me up or emails me when I converse with them. I give them the information they need, and then they say, you know, but there's few other lawyers. You know, my neighbor's a lawyer. They do real estate. You know, my girlfriend went to some guy, and, you know, he does criminal law, and he also does some disability. Like, why should I choose you? Why should I choose your law firm? And you know, it's a good question. It's a question you have to ask, because you're talking about potentially a lot of money that's owed to you. So, you know, you want to make sure that whoever you go to understands the role, their role, and your role. I have seen one time, I had this one instance where this individual, this was about a year ago, who called me up in distress, and he's dealing with his adjuster. He was denied twice, LTD, and, you know, and I'm talking to him. And as the conversation progresses, he's telling me that he actually has a lawyer that he had hired to help him with a disability claim. So I said, so why are you talking to the adjuster? Once you have a lawyer, that lawyer should assume all communications. That firm should be the wall between you and the insurance company. That's part of the benefit of having us. You can focus on your health. And he didn't have an answer. He was shocked that I said that, because his lawyer simply told him, no, you can continue conversing with the adjuster. No, absolutely not. So again, that's an example of why it is that, you know, we often are referred. I mean, many of the individuals that come to our firm don't necessarily come to us because of the show or because of other speaking engagements. It's word of mouth. People understand what we do, both on the employment side, on the disability side. We do the talking for you when it comes to dealing with the insurance company. We do the pushing for you. We do the fighting for you, and we give you the space you need to be able to focus on your health, to be able to focus on getting better. That's what it's all about.
Another reason why you guys should be hired, and I know because I've worked with you for so long, you've got the experience, you've got the reputation, you've got the firepower that insurance, well, they're scared of, and they know it. Not just us, but they also know it.
They know it. I'm telling you, I worked for insurance companies years and years ago. You know, anybody that's watched this show before or listened to our radio show, John, knows I have an insurance defense background. Quite a few of the members on my team are from, you know, that same ilk. They have worked for insurance companies in the past. And what does that mean? Not only does it mean that we have been in the belly of the beast, we have seen how insurance companies operate, we know their weaknesses. But in addition to that, look, when I was doing defense work in the past and I got a claim to defend for the insurance company, I would immediately look at the bottom or the back of the claim to figure out who is the lawyer, who's the firm on the other side. And if it was a firm that was very well known, a law firm or a lawyer that had a very strong reputation, they knew what they were doing, they had resources to go all the way, you know, I would tell my client, my insurance client, you're going to have to pay a lot more than if this was an unknown, than if this was a lawyer that's not their specialty. So, you know, and that makes sense if you think about it. We are known in the industry. We are known as employment lawyers, and we are known as disability lawyers. We are known not only because of our media profile, but because of high-profile cases and results that we have achieved. So you have to understand that when you are going and hiring the big guns, you're going to get most likely big results, right? Every case is different, of course. We have to have caveats. But the point is this, insurance companies specifically are very much aware who are the players in this field. It's not a big field, not in Ontario, not in BC. All the insurance companies know each other. All the lawyers that deal in this specific area of disability know each other, the defense and the plaintiff. Reputation goes a long way. And if you understand that, and if you get a lawyer, a law firm like ours with that reputation, you are maximizing the amount of money you are potentially going to put in your pocket.
Well, you mentioned money. That was the third reason why to come directly to you guys, and that is you pay nothing up front. That gets taken care of afterwards.
Very important. Very, very important, John. I have seen people have come to me and said, look, I hired a lawyer, paid $5,000 retainer. They said they're going to appeal my decision or fight my claim. Now they're asking for more money. Listen, here's how good we are, how comfortable I am in telling someone to hire us. We don't get paid until the insurance company sends a check. It's that simple. So we're in the same boat financially with respect to your claim, because we can be working on your claim, for a few days or for a few years or however long it's going to take. Usually it takes a few weeks to a few months to resolve. But we don't get paid until you get paid. And I know, yes, you hear radio commercials and TV commercials and billboards that have that, we don't get paid until you win. But I have seen so many fine prints in some of these ads. We don't take anything. It's in our retainer agreement. It's very important to understand you have no financial liability towards us if we are unsuccessful, which means that I'm going to tell you the truth each and every time about what I can do for you. My team is going to do the same thing. And really, if you think about it, John, if I'm telling you that you're owed $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 from the insurance company, and you don't have to pay anything until I show you that money, why would you walk away? So that's the message here. It's going to cost you nothing to speak with us, and it's going to cost you nothing to hire us. We only get paid if and when you hire us and if and when we're able to get the insurance company to pay you what you're owed.
And I think that provides a little bit of insurance for potential clients. Some people come in and assume that you take everybody who walks in off the street. Well, if there's no payday at the end for anybody, why would you waste your resources and time?
That's an interesting question, because there are some law firms out there, and again, having worked on the insurance side, I've seen those, where they literally take everyone that comes their way. They'll if your case is worth $2,000 and they can make $50 off of it, some lawyers, some law firms will take it, will do it. We don't do it. Again, reputation, going back to one of the original points, reputation for us is everything. It takes a long time to develop reputation. You can damage it within minutes or even seconds, So for us, it's important. I will tell you, my team will tell you if you have a case or not. And my team will tell you, if you have a case, what we can do about it. What is the process? What to expect? Very, very important. Communication is very important. Truthfulness is very important. Again, you're not going to get that from every lawyer, unfortunately, and not every firm out there.
Let's take a short pause. What do you say? And when we come back, we're going to talk about what you do if your insurer disagrees with your oncologist. That is coming up here on the Disability Law Show. Stick around.
You were being harassed, and when you said something about it, you're the one who lost your job. Now what are you going to do?
I'm going to employmentlawyer.ca.
Always check with the employment lawyer first at employmentlawyer.ca.
Insurance companies deny long-term disability claims all the time. They give lots of excuses. Don't give up. I've seen it all. They've ignored your doctors, they've ignored you. You're angry and you're frustrated. But there's hope. We resolve disability claims all the time. We force insurers to pay what they owe. We're in your corner.
Call Sivan and his team, 1-855-821-5900, or go to disabilityrights.ca. You thought you had a secure job. You didn't see it coming. Now what do you do?
I'm going to employmentlawyer.ca.
Always check with the employment lawyer first at employmentlawyer.ca.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Disability Law Show. To reach out to Sivan and his team, 1-855-821-5900 or disabilityrights.ca. That is where you will find a radio show across the country. And from it, phone call number 2. Sivan is coming up right now.
I'm calling about my wife. She's a teacher. She's been fighting cancer for the last 8 months, going through chemo and radiation treatments, the whole thing. She was on long-term disability for about 6 months or so, and then a new adjuster came along, had her medical documents reviewed by their own doctor, and they said she's healthy enough and should be doing a gradual return to work. Now, my wife's oncologist doesn't agree with that, but the adjuster said if she doesn't try to go back, she's going to be cut off at the end of August. What can we do about this?
Unbelievable, John. Unbelievable. But how many times have I seen this? In the context of cancer, in the context of MS, in the context of every kind of disease you can think of, And it breaks my heart because these individuals are trying to survive. He's trying to focus on his wife. She's trying to focus on her health. You know, there is no reason for this to happen. The only reason why it's happening is because the insurance company is trying to save money. You understand? They are trying to save money. This lady has insurance, and legitimately she's owed that insurance. She's been getting long-term disability, and here you have the insurance company, this new adjuster. I don't know where he went to school. This new adjuster who's now telling her you have to try a return to work program when she's not ready, when the doctors are saying she's not ready. Well, guess what? The adjuster can't force her to go back to work. She has to follow, and she should follow, her doctor's recommendations, whatever her oncologist is saying. And that's applicable across the board. If there is a conflict between what your adjuster is telling you that you need to do from a work standpoint or from a medical standpoint and your doctors, you listen to your doctors. That is unequivocal, okay? There are no caveats here. You need to listen to your doctors. They have your best interest, and heart. They are going to try to make you better. The insurance company doesn't care about that. The insurance company cares about saving a buck, making a buck on your back. So, in this kind of situation here, where the adjuster has told this lady that if she doesn't go back, she's going to be cut off in August, her benefits will end. As soon as they've given that ultimatum, I take that to mean that the insurance company has now breached its obligations under the contract, because it's in effect telling this lady, despite what your doctors are saying, despite the fact that your doctors confirmed that you are still eligible for LTD, we are going to stop paying you. And that's against what the policy is saying. That means that you don't have to wait until August. It means that she has a potential legal claim now that's actionable now. You know, John, this is important. Many people are told in advance. In fact, most people who are getting LTD are told in advance when their benefits will end. They're told maybe weeks in advance, sometimes months. I have seen one case where it was over a year in advance. And that person did not wait until, his train came to the end of the train tracks. No, he contacted me immediately, and we resolved that case within several months. In other words, he was never without income. He was never without money. If you wait, if that lady and her husband wait until the end of August when the benefits cut, thinking maybe they can appeal this somehow or persuade the adjuster that there's a mistake here, they're going to have a very, very bad day the following day after that deadline, because the benefits will end, and at that point, they'll have to come to me, and at that point, it's going to take me a little bit of time to actually resolve the case, so they'll be without money for a few weeks or a few months. So that's why I'm saying, John, for everyone out there, if you are told your benefits will end, your LTD benefits will end at some point in the near future, don't wait until that point. Contact me now. Let us have a chat. It's going to cost you nothing, and then you'll be armed with the information you need and decide how you want to proceed.
It always amazes me, too. A week doesn't go by either on this show or the radio show where we hear about a client of yours who the insurance company maybe physically sends them to see one of their doctors. Sometimes it's just a paper trail, and their medical team is in complete conflict with the person's medical team, who's been seeing them for months, if not years. And if that ever went to court, which it probably wouldn't, it would never stand up, because sometimes the insurance doctor's never even seen this person.
Insurance companies understand this, John. They know. But remember, when they have you seen by one of their doctors, or if they get one of their doctors, and by the way, sometimes they're not even doctors, they're other types of, consultants. Those individuals may not even see you. They may just look at your medical file that the insurance company gives them. Why the insurance company is doing that? Because they're trying to latch on to some kind of an opinion from someone that is objective, that will allow them to then cut you off. But you're absolutely right. If there's a conflict between a hired gun, someone the insurance company hired to do an opinion, and that opinion contradicts what your doctors are saying, I'm going to bet everything, the farm, everything on your doctors. And the fact that if this goes to court, again, I don't think it will. Insurance companies actually don't like going to court. It's too risky for them. They're not in the business of just taking these kinds of risks. They will most likely capitulate. They will fold if you call them on it. But until that happens, they are going to push you around. They're going to tell you, our doctor said X and Y. Your doctors are wrong. No, absolutely not. Go with whatever your doctors are saying. And, we can do a full segment, if not a show, John, about what to do in the event that an insurance company sends you to be, to one of their doctors. But suffice it to say that if there is that conflict between their doctor, their hired gun from the insurance company, and your doctors, you listen to your doctors.
Let's slide over an email. We got some time here. It is help@disabilityrights.ca. This email comes from Shireen, and Shireen says, I just got a denial letter in the mail from my long-term disability insurer that said they don't consider me, quote unquote, totally disabled. I don't understand. I've been off work for over 8 months now because I have multiple sclerosis. My doctors have all said that I'm unable to work and I take a lot of medications to help with my condition. How else can I prove to the insurer that I am unable to work?
Shireen, you can't prove it to them because you've already done that, right? There's nothing else you need to prove. You know, sometimes, John, insurance companies, when they're asking for additional proof, you know, the only analogy I can give you is you really need to light a candle to see the sun. Like, it's so evident that this lady, Shireen, is suffering from MS. We know this disease. It's a terrible disease. Her doctors are saying she can't work, and the insurance company is asking for more proof? Come on, give me a break. They're just, listen, they're trying to shake you off claim, Shireen. So here's what we do. We get in touch off air, and I'll explain to you how it is that we can force the insurance company to come to the table and pay you what you're owed or reinstate you and put you back on claim. But the important thing to understand is that the insurance company is gambling here. It's just, it's that simple. They are gambling. They are gambling that you're going to walk away from money that is owed to you. And John, I see this time and time again. The other thing I want to mention here is that, you know, the denial letters that they send you often say you are not totally disabled or you don't have enough medical documentation to prove total disability. And what people get fixated on, and I'm not faulting them because this is just a trick that the insurance company uses, the insurance industry really, is they include that word totally. And when you say the word totally, you're thinking that what I'm thinking, what a normal person thinks is complete, 100%. I'm in a coma. I have to be brain dead. I have to have amputation of all my limbs. You know, I have to have no eyesight. That's what you're thinking that. Your doctors may even be thinking that. I've had debates with doctors who doctors said, but yeah, my patient can't work because of their disability, but they're not totally disabled. You know, they can pick up their kids from school. Well, no, then you misunderstand the definition of total disability under the long-term disability policy. Don't look at it from a medical standpoint. Don't look at it from a layperson standpoint when you look at total disability. Look at it from an insurance standpoint, LTD context. Context is important. And what we have to understand here is you satisfy that test so long as you cannot perform the essential tasks of your occupation for the first 2 years of being on LTD, and the essential tasks of any occupation for which you're suited for by training, education, or experience. So this is absolutely key. It's absolutely crucial, John, for people to understand that total disability in the LTD context does not mean what you and I think that it means in the regular context. It's very confusing, and the insurance companies, plural, love this confusion because it means that many people are dissuaded from pursuing their claims. They simply assume, look, I'm not totally disabled. It's true. I can bathe on my own. I can do that. I can't get out of bed necessarily, you know, because I am tired and I have depression and whatever else I have. I have MS. I have cancer. I can do some things, but I'm not totally disabled. No. If you cannot do your own occupation, the essential tasks of your own occupation, or any occupation for which you're suited for, you satisfy that test. You satisfy the test for total disability.
You know, we've often said, I know James, your partner, has said, whoever in the insurance company, however many years ago, came up with that term totally disabled to put in a policy is an absolute genius. He's an absolute genius because it scares everybody.
It scares everybody, John, and it's unfortunate because, you know, it doesn't just dissuade people from pursuing their claims. People believe it, and people are left in the lurch. And how many families, how many people, how many lives have been destroyed because they did not get the money and the support that they were owed because they're disabled? It's not fair, and we are here to right that, and we will right that if you contact us.
Several different ways to contact as we wrap it for another day. Appreciate you tuning in. If there's any discrepancy, any confusion, just reach out, make the phone call, 1-855-821-5900. The email we use is help@disabilityrights.ca. And as mentioned before, the website disabilityrights.ca is the place you want to go to catch our radio show. And hopefully one day you'll call in and we'll get you hear your voice on the TV show as well. So thank you for tuning in again, and we'll do it all over again next weekend right here, Disability Law Show.